Hey, welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Welcome to this channel. If you haven't seen the other video, I don't know what's up here anymore. Um, this is what I want to do. I want to be playing some visual novels, like I used to. Um, I played this specific visual novel. Man, was it 8 years ago? Okay, it was like 2014 that I was playing Katawa Shoujo. So it was 7 years ago. Yeah. This was really my first visual novel, like legit visual novel. I haven't actually played all the way through, I don't think, any visual novels. I didn't get through this one either. I made it to basically chapter 2, the second half, or whatever, I'm not really sure, I don't remember what they call it. And then I ended up stopping. I had about 30 episodes or so. So I'm going to be replaying it, and I might not even end up with the same character. So, without further ado, oh, and it has a face cam, which is cool. I don't normally do that. So, a light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight from teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I also move around when I play games. Something that you never got to see before because, first of all, I didn't have a camera. Second, there's no way I would have shown myself my camera back then. Sorry. I will be clearing my throat a lot. I've got like some weird throat problems going on lately. I also have water. The face cam is just for these bits where I drink water and look at the camera. Until the camera will die, because it has a really awful battery, but that's for later. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white, painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time is slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao, you came. Hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. Chad. Thank you. The voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. Principal Dolly? I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. It's her. Girl. She does look cute from behind. Iwanko. How the fuck? Iwanko. I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours. Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line and that was the result. Pathetic. Fucking useless. Stupid. Fuck. Well, yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. Shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. God. I love her so much. My heart is pounding now, as if it was trying to burst out of my chest and claim the girl for itself. Terrifying image. We just see a fully animated 60 frames a second of just this heart ripping out. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches, and the cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine as she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. As in real life. Jesus, I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Is how? I reach up to try to massage my throat, but it only sends spikes of pain. Blinding pain along my arms. Hisao? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Hisao! No! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak to the knees. At the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, you want to go running towards me. All these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of want to go screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. Dim. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. I relived the art in this game. In that whole time, I could probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition that causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time, so it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts were trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting, including my parents. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never really had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. You know, you did put me in the hospital. Kind of fucked up, right? It's kind of your fault. My family's in debt right now. Whatever. It's fine. We didn't touch the subject between us ever again. The hospital. It's not really a place I'd like to live in. even though I have been. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. The first month or so, I'd ask the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait to see if the treatment and surgeries had worked. Sorry, I move my legs a lot. So I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I could not be disappointed more than what? Sorry, my brain stopped reading. But my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Maybe it was just the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library in the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I devoured these books. I found that I liked reading, and I think that I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days had become increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in the realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was, but other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside just to lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. That only happened rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Makes sense. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he was going to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here, and it's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. It's supposed to be some kind of special occasion. It's not a party. Why are the Avengers here? There is a ritual. Sorry, I'm gonna lay down. Is that chill? I'm gonna lay down. I always lay down when I game. It's a normal thing, so I normally wouldn't care, but it's because I'm on camera that I feel so self-conscious about it. I'm like barely in frame. Whatever, I'm sorry. This is just so much more comfortable than sitting. I do this on normal games too. I play like FPS games and stuff like this. He takes his time, sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. There's two beds in a hospital room? It's kind of weird. Or is he... He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Sal. How are you today? I also realized that now that I'm laying down, I'm so less focused. Hold on. It's just, I just don't like sitting. How are you today? I don't give him an answer, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with the precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medications sorted out. I gave your father a prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take from his hand to look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? I pass out. Anesthesia, dysphorpamine, phentoin, woofing, what? Day. 400 milligrams, 10 milligrams for 48 hours, 400 milligrams a day, cardiolol. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems to be insurmountable, and they all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications, I don't know what that is, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. Can't understand any of it. Tempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that this is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I've never felt better I mean, I would have felt better if you hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents. We believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Dad? Fuck, Dad. The doctor just starts talking to his dad. Alright, sorry. Please, calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he tells me as if he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I gonna go home? What? Am I going to be homeschooled? Sorry, my throat is... Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's so wise. It's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamako Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on campus. Is it really like minutes from a hospital? Wouldn't it be like... Wouldn't you want a hospital on campus if it's straight up for disabled students like this? I feel like minutes from a hospital is like still enough to like get you in trouble. It's a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded hospital. The majority of students live on campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it really was free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, it's only that if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. Looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other hard problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue our education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students are pretty active in their own sort of way. The dad's voice just keeps changing. It's geared towards students that could get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person who doesn't have to be held back by their disability, that's what a disability is. I really hate having something so important cited for me. What can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, but something about how I can go back to school anyway. But no, I don't say anything. The fact is, I just know it's futile. I look around the room feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel different. There really isn't a choice. I know this. But the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. My nose is so itchy, bro. Sorry. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake just to reassign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. It's where we have like the thought bubble when you look into the sky. Act 1. Life expectancy.